Welcome to the Midlife Business Academy. I'm Lori Lyons, marketing strategist, business coach, and accidental techie. After years of running a successful website design agency, I'm now building the business of my dreams and helping other midlife entrepreneurs do the same. From strategy to marketing to mindset, we covered what really matters when you're growing a business that fits your life. Let's get started. Hi there, and welcome to the Midlife Business Academy. I'm so excited you're here, and I'm so excited to introduce my person in the hot seat coaching client chair today. It is my good friend and client, Diana Devi of An Ageless Life. So, welcome to the hot seat.
Thank you so much. And I'm really excited to be here for two reasons. One is because it's you, and the other because of the good stuff we're going to get done today.
Absolutely, absolutely. And because of full transparency, not only is Diana a very valuable client, we're also very good friends. So if we get a little giggly, I kind of apologize in advance a little bit because that sometimes happens with good friends. But I love what Diana does, and I wanted to come on because we talk about a lot of things because we do coaching sessions for each other, and we talk about a lot of things on there. So we thought we'd take this time to do a live coaching example with something we've been wanting to talk about with her business. So first of all, you've got some things happening in your life. So tell us where you want to be in 6 months with your business.
In 6 months, I would like to be fully transitioned into doing this and serving the people that I really are really my ideal clients. And when I say that, it sounds kind of jargony, but really the people that I can help the most, those are the ones that I want to gravitate toward me.
Okay, so you led me right into the next question.
Okay.
Tell us who you serve. Tell us your ideal client.
My ideal client is a woman who's an entrepreneur, and she is in midlife and is finding that her life isn't exactly what she thought it was going to be. It's not as rewarding or fulfilling, and she's not sure why. And she's starting to notice that she's looking like her mother, and maybe she's not ready for that.
So, Diana, would you say that that's a good place to start if you start with the physicality and the, oh my gosh, who am I becoming kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely. It's a very visceral response. How many of us, even when you're washing your face or whatever, you kind of go forward, you kind of go like this, or you're like, what's going on?
Yeah. And for
Yeah.
those of you on the podcast, she's like looking at her eyes and the bags, although she doesn't have bags in
Touching
her eyes.
under my
Yeah, under the
chin.
chin. Yes. The things that we see that are the most visible, but there's also the mental underlying that. So if
Yeah.
you're looking at that and talking from a message standpoint, how would you turn the problem that you see that a lot of midlife women have? What would be your message to them? Let's work on that because I know that's where you struggle with. So let's start defining, first of all, who it is. I like what you said as far as you want to get on the floor and play with your grandkids. You want to be able to travel because that's the end result benefit of
Right.
what that's the rise of the transformation. So what is the steps to get them there? And I'm not talking about sleep, movement, and food. I'm talking about
No.
from a mental, this, as you said, visceral standpoint. Let's look at
Well,
that.
I think there has to be number one, an understanding that you can do something. In other words, you are not a victim. There are things that you can do in order to improve the situation or at least restore some of what it is that you want.
Mhm.
So that's number one. Number two is taking the next step by doing something. And a lot of the times, what I see is people think, I'm going to have to radically change my life. I'm going to have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go work out at a gym and completely redo my diet and, turn off all of my stuff and make sure I do this and that. And so by the time they even read the laundry list of what it is that they need to do, they're exhausted.
Yeah.
So no, no. We need to do it in short increments that are accessible, that
Okay.
people can use.
But here you're getting into the features of you're getting into the
Okay.
nitty-gritty. I want
Gotcha.
us to go underneath that. I want us to go into
Okay.
that visceral identity of who it is that you work with and the problem that you solve with them, because it's the identity that they're going to see themselves and they're going to go, oh, she gets me. Not, I don't want to have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Gotcha.
I want to see what that overarching is. So let's talk about that. When you say, when you talk with women about looking in the mirror and seeing their mother, let's expand on that because I think that's a good story. I think
Okay.
most women will understand what that means. So expand on that just a little bit as far as what are the feelings that it brings up.
So the feeling that it brought up was, how did I get to be to this point and not notice it?
Yeah.
When did this happen? Because it seems like yesterday this was not the case. Today, this is where we are. What happened? And then the sense of loss. It's like, my waist is 2 to 3 inches larger than it was before. And what happened with that? And why is it that everything seems to be going south in my body? Really, those kinds of emotions and feeling a sense of loss, but also a sense of not knowing what to do about it,
Yeah.
not knowing where to start. And is it even worth the effort?
Oh, those are good. That's good words because that will resonate because I have to do this again. Does this ever, never, ever stop? Am I going to be
Yeah,
having to worry about this when I'm 85? Yeah.
exactly.
If you're 85 feeling like you're 75, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yay.
Yeah. So, all right. You've gotten some good language in there. And part of your story is looking in the mirror and seeing your mother. So that's very relatable for you for your
Yeah.
message. You also, because I know you, I also know the story of what your doctor said to you.
Yes.
So tell us that, and we're going to incorporate that a little bit into your message.
So as a pharmacist and in healthcare, and I'm in a non-traditional pharmacist role anyway, what we do when something is wrong, and I was tired, I was having issues finding my words. I couldn't spell at all anymore, and my calculator brain was not functioning. And I didn't feel good, tired all the time. So I go to my physician. She runs a bunch of tests. She has me come in the office. I sit down. She puts her hand on my knee and says, "There's nothing wrong with you. This is a normal part of life, and you need to stop trying to be young." And that was just like, and it was devastating because basically it was to the point where this is all in your head. It's like, no, it's not.
Mhm. So if you take that language and you say and you look at it from a point of getting older is not in your head. Getting older is a matter of how you look at yourself or how you self-talk. Let's see, let's play with this a little bit. So have you ever looked in the mirror and seen your mother? Now, for most of us, that's not something we want to do. Some of us, it might be, but for
Yeah.
most of us, that's not who we want to see looking back. And we wonder how we got there. We wonder why we're feeling invisible. We wonder why we are not we are not feeling the best that while we're feeling old.
Yes.
And at one point, I had a doctor tell me to quit trying. You're just getting older and live with it. Is this you? I work with women to help them overcome the, I work with women to help them feel more visible, more accepting of their age, and making them be the best that they can be, which is that old trite, what was it? What
Yeah.
was the shampoo commercial? I don't remember
Yeah.
what it was,
I
but
don't, yeah.
it's very true for what you're trying to do. Be the best that you can be, because that can happen for us at any age. So let's play along with that type of messaging.
Okay.
It's a positive, uplifting, but at the same time, you're pointing out what women are feeling. And I think you said you had somebody, at one point you were talking about being sexy and confident, and
Right.
you had a client say, "I don't care about being sexy anymore."
Exactly. It's just like, I'm done with that. I'm too old for that. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. So
But it was a real, it wasn't put on. It was basically the way that she felt.
yeah. And we're not talking about sex. We're talking about feeling sexy, because
Exactly.
two
I'm
different
done with that,
things,
she said. Yeah.
it's how we feel about ourselves. So let's play with that messaging some more. So if you and I don't like the word "I help," because that
Yes.
puts you into an assistant mode, not an expert mode.
Collaborative. Yeah.
Yes. So be the expert. Let's walk through, because I want to work with you on this. We're working on your elevator pitch, in case you haven't
Gotcha.
noticed.
Okay.
Because I know you struggle with that sometimes. So let's walk through that. Who you work with and the problem that you solve, or the problem that you help them solve.
So it would be I work with midlife women who I don't know whether I just say it, who look in the mirror and find their mother looking back at them,
That could do.
but are not willing to give up feeling good, being visible, and making this the best part of their life.
Yeah. And you could actually, as you were saying that, you could actually flip it just a little bit. Say, I work with midlife women who feel invisible, who,
That flows better.
yeah, who look in the mirror and see their mother, and see someone they don't recognize staring back at them, that are tired of the everyday, that are invisible, that they don't recognize who's looking back at them, and just don't want to have to keep doing it over and over and over again. And enough is enough. I'm just giving up.
Right.
So those are the women that you work with. So what will be the benefit then, if we define it? Does that define it pretty well for you?
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Because they are, and I had a client tell me that she was in a store and a man walked up beside her. And when she moved, he was surprised because he thought she was a mannequin.
Oh,
So it's like invisibility is an issue.
yeah.
So, yes, being visible um, and being visible on their terms.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. So you work with midlife women who feel invisible, who don't recognize themselves in the mirror anymore, and who are frustrated because they just have to feel like who are frustrated because they feel like they just have to do it over and over and over again, and they don't know what to do to feel better, to feel more like themselves, more like they did when they were, 10, 20 years ago. And that is possible. So taking that, taking what you said there, we want him to play with the ageless. So tired of being invisible, not recognizing themselves in the mirror, and are tired of trying to make it happen and doing the same things over and over again, so that, and then you can bring your benefits in, so that they have the energy to travel. They have the energy to do all the things that they have dreamed about for all of these years. That's a right of being older.
Yes,
There are
it
things that we
absolutely
work
is.
our life for, and we
Yep.
don't feel like it. So let's play with that a little bit too. That we can,
Okay.
all right.
So I mean, I'm doing the elevator speech, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. Let's start Let's start putting that
crafting
together.
that.
Right.
Okay, so I work with midlife women who look in the mirror and see something that they don't recognize. They are tired of repeating the same thing day after day and are ready to live a life that they enjoy, that they have the energy to grow a business, to travel, or to play with their grandchildren.
Okay, that's good. I like that. It gives a before and after. This is the problem that they have, and this is what happens when you solve the problem. They have these things, and we do have this on video, so I can give this to
Yay! Because I'm like, I did not.
you. Yeah, I do like that. I like that a lot. How does that feel to you?
That feels pretty good. And I especially like the component about rather than having to retrofit what they are now into their life that they was before, because it's going to be different. And quite frankly,
Right,
they don't want that old life anymore.
right.
So this, I like this version.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, good. All right, so if we take that version, now you have, I know you happen to have a program called the Midlife Reset.
Yes.
So we want to be able to say this is part of your reset because this is where some of your redefine comes in. You can go
Yeah.
in and in 3 easy weeks for 5 minutes a day, you could redefine who you are in a way that's very simple and makes sense. So if you are looking from your elevator pitch that we just did,
Yes.
if somebody says, "Well, how do you do that?" Let's work on the transformational language of explaining how you do that,
Okay.
because that would be your next step. Because you want somebody to lean in and go, "Oh, tell me more," you know. And I think that that elevator pitch that we just did will cause that to happen. So now, what would you say to me if I said, "Oh, okay, tell me more"?
So I would say I have something that would work really well. It is a 21-day reset, and it is something that we start with small things that really help you understand the possibilities of what you can do and where you can go.
Okay, I'm going to stop you here
Okay.
because you're getting into the feature of the program, which I kind of alluded to that
Okay.
before. But what is the outcome? What when they go through the 3 week reset? What are they going to be like on the other side? What is the end game for this?
The biggest end game for them is they figure out what they need in order to feel better, have more energy, and to start taking control of their lives.
Okay. All right. So tell me more. Tell me more about what you do. I have a program that will show you in 3 easy weeks, or three, we can think of a better adjective because I don't think it's
Right.
easy. It's
No, it's
simple.
simple,
It's
but not
simple,
easy.
but not easy. All right. In 3 weeks, I can show you what your life could look like by feeling better, and I can show you what your life will look like when you feel better, when you look better, and it's using some very simple steps that everybody can do. If that works for you, then we can always go more, but this will give you an indication of what you can be.
Right.
How does something like that sound?
That sounds good because it gives them, because the thing that I want to make crystal clear is not overpromising as to what you can do in 21 days, because that to me is a breach of trust. So really setting the expectation of this is not the end all be all. This is the foundation that we're laying that
Yes.
really is going to be built upon from there.
And
So
it gives
that,
them a little taste of who you are and what some of
yes,
the methodology that you use to move
yep.
forward and keeping it simple. So if you're doing that, I think one of the things that we all do is when we're saying we'll describe the program, we go into how many, for me it's how many videos and how many PDFs you have. Nobody buys the PDFs. They don't care
Who
what they're
needs another
right.
PDF?
Right. What they want to do is what is this going to do for me? What's in it for me? Why do I want to invest some money and my time and do this? So what's going to be the outcome? Why do I need to do this? Because that's where we always go back to is the why. What is the why of this? Not the specifics, but the why. So let's talk more. So, all right. So Diana, you've just told me what you do. So tell me more. Tell me more about this program.
So this program is designed for you to see what the possibilities are for more energy, more opportunity, more energy to be more visible and to understand how fabulous midlife can be.
Okay.
Not quite there, huh?
You're close. You're really close. Um, the program is designed to show you simply a simple way. Did we say simple? We said simple, not easy,
We
right?
said simple,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
not easy. Yes,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
simple. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Show you a simple way that in 3 weeks you can you can feel better and have more energy by using these very simple techniques that I teach you. If these work for you, it gives you an idea of what working with is, and we can take it further by working with me longer afterwards. But this is meant to be a little appetizer.
The taster.
It's a taster. Yeah, it's a taste. So, because I think that's important too, is tell them this is a little taste.
Yes.
Yeah. So, how does something like that, does that sound like it's fulfilling a promise or,
Yeah, I think
okay.
so. And I don't think it is overpromising.
Mhm.
I think it is right on the mark.
Okay, cool. Um, Anything else that you feel like your ideal client or the what you've seen in other clients that you've worked with, anything else that they have brought up that you've said, oh, I wonder if this is something we can work on, or this is not who I want to work with, because that's just important too.
Yeah. So I think anybody who, and I'll go with the positive first. Some of the things that I see that I haven't really addressed in the 21 days is the whole question of why am I doing this, or what is it that I need to do next? Because a lot of the things that I'm hearing are, I don't like this, but I don't know what else I want to do.
Right?
And that kind of is bore out of the physical changes that happen with the invisibility and with the fact that maybe they're just bored with what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's something that is not addressed, but I think that's not something that's accessible, but something that I would put in a bigger program for
Right.
people to talk
Right.
about. The people that are not ideal candidates are people who want to continue to do the same thing but expect a change. Because I'm all out of fairy dust. It's, it's just not happening. So there has to be the willingness not only to invest financially, but also to invest in their energy or the work that they will do in order to feel better, look better, have the energy, be visible and enjoy their midlife.
Right. So the bottom line is they don't want to become somebody that they don't recognize. And they don't want to become somebody that I think of slug on the sofa.
Exactly.
You know,
They don't want to mesh into the beige chair, right?
yes, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Because I think one of our biggest fears is becoming that person we don't recognize. There's a lot of memes going around that say I can either walk this way when they're showing women our age speed walking, and then the next shot is the woman on the walker.
Yes,
That you don't want to, who you are now keeps you from becoming that person later.
absolutely.
So, and I think there's a message in there for you as well.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that piece of it, but that's absolutely right. You know, what we know is that what happens today, you're going to see it in 10 or 20 or 30
Yeah,
years.
right.
So getting it together, the sooner the better. but that's not to say that you can't still make progress regardless of when you start.
Absolutely. And you also had something, it may have been one of your podcast episodes that talked about how you don't feed your body the same way now as you did when you were 20.
Yes.
So, and I think that is a really good statement as well, because it makes us stand back. Because your whole goal is you want them to go, huh, hadn't thought of that. Yes, that's exactly how I feel. I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
expand on that a little bit.
so, and another one that I say is, I eat now for strength rather than to be small,
Oh,
right? Because
yes,
I want to
yes,
be powerful and strong and those kinds of things rather than being small and slight and delicate and all the things that we think about when we're thin. But really looking at changing the perspective of saying, like you mentioned, you don't feed a 20-year-old and a toddler the same. Why would you feed a 20-year-old and a 50-year-old the same? Body needs different
right.
things.
All right, go back to what you just said a second ago. I want to feel strong. I want to feel,
Strong, I want to feel visible
uh-huh,
rather than being small and basically,
and not
I don't
seen.
want to say invisible, but weak, right? Because
Right.
thin and you're, feather light and those kinds of things. It's no, hell no. I want to be strong. I want to be in my body. I want to be able to do the things that I want to do. I want to be able, me personally, to be able to go out and dance until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in my 3-inch heels, dancing tango.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if I can't walk, I can't do that. If I
You
don't
can't
have
do
the
that.
right kind of food,
Right.
I can't do that.
Right. So when you said that, I thought, all right, there's our connector. That's what we were missing on your elevator pitch is I work with women who feel invisible, who have become somebody they don't recognize, are stuck in the rut of the sameness for every day and want to feel strong and want to be visible and want to be seen and not small so that they can and then
Right.
so that's that bridge language of here's here's who you are now, here's what's possible, and here's the benefits of it. So
Gotcha.
that's what we were missing. So I like that. So you brought those in. So does that resonate? And is that something you would feel comfortable saying
Yeah.
in a room, in a networking event or something like that?
We'll find out next week.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So my homework will be to give you to get this transcript up to you. So you can start practicing. Because one thing that we've talked about is it's very important for us. And I had to do this a couple of hours ago. And we usually would have a minute. All of a sudden we got 30 seconds. Like, oh, now I gotta redo. But the more you can practice, get your words down. And then the more you practice it, it becomes muscle memory. And then you don't have to think about it. You don't have that momentary sense of, going from 60 seconds to 30 seconds to, back to 60. You can say it very easily and very eloquently and very smoothly. Because the biggest thing is you want to make it believable. You want
Yeah.
somebody to go in and go, she, oh my gosh, she just nailed who I need to talk with her because that's exactly who I am and exactly who I want to be. So, do I have your commitment to go practice it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, good. All right.
And it might be the dancer in me that is really good about, okay, if we're gonna do something like this, and we need to basically get your steps in for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because the less you have to think about it, the more comfortable you're going to be with it.
Well, and the
And
more authentic it is,
yes.
right? Because
Well,
it's not like you're making it up on the fly.
right, right. Well, you know how I feel about that word.
Well, yeah, true.
But yes, yes.
It's more that it comes from the heart. How's
Yes,
that?
it comes from the heart. It's believable, and you're comfortable saying it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing is you're comfortable with what you do. You're very comfortable because you're excellent at what you do. So now the challenge is just explaining so that it's drawn to the right women who can be your ideal client, who are ready, willing, and able to take your program and to work with you. And, ready can be time wise, it can be they're tired of looking in the mirror. Willing means that they're willing to do the work, they're willing to put to make the change. And able means that they have the time and they can pay you. So
Yes.
we want all three of
Important
those.
factors.
Yes, yes, we want because all three. If you've got two out of the three, you don't have an ideal client, and it
No.
could be any of those two, any of those two. So yeah, so we want to make sure of that. So thinking back over our conversation, what is the biggest aha that you see, or that has come to you from this?
Um, I think it's the clarity and the clarity of the transformation rather than being bogged into more of the what is it that it is, right? The
Right.
nuts and bolts kind of thing, but really focusing on the transformation because the transformation speaks much louder. And that's been part of my struggle all along is there are thousands of people that do work in the midlife area
Yeah.
for women. And you can say premenopause, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopausal, midlife, da 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 da. Some are physicians, some are not, some are health coaches, some are body workers, some are just people who they've experienced it. So, how do I distinguish what it is?
Mhm.
By talking about it in a way that isn't, you need to do finger exercises every day in order to get the wrinkles out of your hand.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Yes. And you need to do that, but that's not what you're selling. I
exactly.
go on YouTube and get those. So
That's exactly right.
yes.
And you're not vested, the thing is the ability to stick with it. Sometimes when you just go on YouTube and look at it, you might do it once, you might do it
Right.
twice, but without the emotional or that understanding of what's beneath it, it's probably not going to stick.
Right. So you're gonna take their hand and you're gonna guide them through the transformation in a way that will work. Yes, in a way that will work for them, in a way that they will feel better, feel visible, feel more visible, and will recognize who they are in the mirror. So good. Good.
Yes.
Diana, thank you. Thank you for sitting in the hot seat today. You were actually an easy one.
That's
But
good.
but I'm glad we talked because transformation is
Yeah.
a message that I'm really working on with my clients is what is that transformational language? And you said it best. When you put it into transformational language, people will pay. Women will pay for transformation.
Yep.
I'm not going to pay you for you to tell me what to eat, but I will pay you to help me transform.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
thank you for being here.
Thanks for the invite
You're welcome. You're
or the
welcome.
opportunity, I should say.
You're welcome. So thank you for joining us on the Midlife Business Academy. We will see you next time. And remember, it's never too late to have the business of your dreams. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me on the Midlife Business Academy. If today's episode made you think, or made you feel, or made you feel seen, share it with a fellow business owner who could use it too. When you're ready for more support, you'll find the link to book your Profitable Path Blueprint call in the show notes. I'll be back next week with more insight and strategy to help you build a business that truly fits your life and one of your dreams. We'll see you next time on the Midlife Business Academy.